Hello and welcome to today's video. So this one's a little bit different in that we're going to be having a look at a forthcoming auction. Now, as I've filmed this today, and I'm going to try and get it up today to give you as much notice as possible, it's just over a week away until the actual auction goes live. It's going to be done over a couple of days. And this is actually part one of two. And the auction is from a comic collector called Peter Hansen. And he collected comics, memorabilia, original artwork, bound volumes. I mean, the collection is really quite something. Lots of British comics with free gifts. There's bubblegum and trading cards. I mean, it's just incredible. The amount of original artwork is absolutely mind-blowing. British annuals, books. I mean, it's just really good, really quite special. This was brought to my attention by fellow comic collector Steve Holland, and he did a little piece on Facebook and on his own website about the collection. And he mentioned that Peter himself bought a lot of this from Dennis Gifford when Dennis Gifford passed away. He knew the guy apparently, and I think some of the stuff we're going to see, I guess, has come from Dennis Gifford's collection. So it really is quite something. There's a lot to get through. There's 542 lots, if you can believe it, and we zoomed through the whole lot of them, taking a bit of time on some of the stuff which is perhaps a bit more of interest to viewers of this channel. But I hope you like it. I hope you find it useful. If you are going to be bidding, best of luck, and do leave a comment if you do end up winning something. But without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. It's Peter Hansen, the Peter Hansen collection of comics premiere sale. So the 11th and 12th of March. So you've got about 9 days as I film this, and hopefully get this one up tonight to you. A Boy's Own Passion, the largest collection of British comics in the universe. Well, I think that's probably debatable, but it is, as they say, an extraordinary sale, charting the history of British comics from the early 20th century onwards. Original artworks by renowned illustrators, people like Frank Bellamy, Alfred Bestall, Don Lawrence. I mean, pretty cool. 500 lots. So I've registered, and we're going to have a look through the lots here, and a few of them we'll have a look at in a bit more detail. So this is lot number one. This is an original page from Roy the Rovers. Very nice. Hopefully you can see the screen clearly. You can see the estimate on these. There's another page signed by Jeff Boycott. Here's some Roy the Rovers stuff to begin with. Original page of Orwelly. And these are just pretty amazing to see, really, aren't they? I mean, how often does this sort of stuff ever come up for sale? That's £600 to £900 estimate. And there's a buyer's premium of 30%. It's a Desperate Dan strip. Corky the Cat, that looks like it's from an annual, or one of the specials maybe. Looks like the inside page is from an annual. So this is the cover to a Whoopi summer special. I reckon I probably had that as a kid. And that is super cool, isn't it? That is really nice. Now, obviously, we can't go through all of these in detail. We'll be here for hours. But I'll try and show like different bits, like that's some Danger Man artwork, which is pretty cool. The sort of logo would have gone in the top left there. Kelly's Eye. Original cover art to the Jack and Jill holiday special. I love a holiday special, perhaps not Jack and Jill, but I love most of them. Front cover to the Bimbo annual. Play Hour comic. Bunty. School Friend. Artwork for Kung Fu from Lookin'. Yeah, I think that is supposed to be David Carradine. So this is from the to tie into the TV series, the Kung Fu TV series. Artwork for the $6 Million Man. Look at this. So they're doing it as a double page spread there. Very cool. If you're into the into the $6 Million Man, you could do very well there. The strip wasn't the best one. I remember looking as a kid and quite enjoying it. This is artwork to Chips. Who remembers Chips? That's by the artist Jim Bakey, who I really like, actually. He did some great Star Wars comics in the early 90s, which I really enjoyed. I like old Jim Bakey. I think he's still around. Some more Chips there. That was for Look and Learn. Look at all that. Loads of pages there of Chips, all in one great lot. I mean, that must be a complete story. Someone could do very well if you're a Chips fan. You know, I mean, that's £200 to £300. Potentially, you could put that up onto eBay. You know, buy that as a job lot and turn it around onto eBay if you wanted to. Another load of it there. Wurzel Gummidge artwork by Mike Noble. Very cool indeed. I said we've got a lot to get through, so I will, of course, pop a link to this in the description today. All right, this is Just William artwork. So if you want to, you can have a little look at this, and I'll probably end up doing a auction overview down the line once everything's complete. There is a page that I have not been through all of this like this myself. I've only skimmed over it. But there was one piece that I potentially put a bid in on, and it's not been accepted. So I think even my bid is not good enough, and I'll show you that when we get to it. So it's already priced out of my bracket. This is apparently original artwork by Milo Manara, who I really like, but it's really, really early. Yeah, look at that sign down the bottom, Milo Manara. Very cool. 1969. He worked for Heavy Metal. This is the bit I did put a bid in on, and I put my bid in, and nothing came of it. So it's a cover to a Piccolo from 1971. It's Alfred Hitchcock's Haunted Houseful. And the art is by Sam Peffer. You can see down the bottom there, from Sam Peffer. It's a hand signed by him. One of my favourite artists for book jackets, and it's pan related Piccolo. 60 to 100 was the estimate, and I'll let you know, I put in 250, and it was already over that by the time I put my bid in yesterday. So there you go. Lots of these cover artworks to the Fleetway picture libraries, and also inside. So these would have been like the picture libraries. Absolutely great, intricate artwork. Very, very nice indeed, if that's your thing. And, they've got their fans. I mean, look at that. That is great, isn't it? They definitely have their fans, these comics. The Wombles at Christmas. Brilliant, isn't it? That's really nice artwork there. From Jack and Jill, 75 and 78. Lines Zip Nolan, September 69. More dandy artwork. So I found out about this from Steve Holland. Here's some Rupert artwork by Alfred Bestel. Look at this. Look, some documentation from him as well. Look at this. I mean, that's surely got to be. I mean, look, with a signed letter, a long letter as well. That's really something. If you're a Rupert fan, I guess the pages are from that book. Wow, wow, wow. Look, yeah, Daily Express Annual. That's terrific. I mean, that, for a Rupert fan, is like the ultimate. They've put, and a copy of the 51 Annual, which itself is scarce. £450 to £750. I can see that going for a couple of £1,000 there. It'd be interesting to see what this stuff does make. This is by Roger Hall. He did a lot for Pan. Great artist. Tina, don't know that at all. But we'll zoom through these. I guess they are of less interest to us, but interesting all the same. A Second World War advertising sign for Royal Canadian Air Force Comic Active Service cards. Second World War period advertising sign. print on board with applied postcards and a folding easel. So that was, look at that. Send a packet to the boys in the services. I mean, very, very nice. I mean, not really my sort of thing, but fascinating all the same. 50 to 80 pounds. I suspect, once again, someone will pay a bit more than that. I suppose they always underestimate the auction houses, but you've got to remember, look at this buyer's premium, 30%. And on that piece of artwork, which was just one page of artwork, it said the estimated postage on it was £39 within the UK, which is insane for one piece of art. And that didn't include insurance. So it's absolutely atrocious, I thought that was. Yeah, I couldn't quite make out this. I did have a look at this one. It's some stuff from Look and Learn, plus some odd reproduction annual covers. So a bit of an unusual one, that. These are huge canvas prints and comics. So there's a few of the big prints, and then there's a selection of American comics down the bottom. They look in very nice condition, actually. There's the big canvas prints. The comics are pretty nice. Nothing too valuable there. Looks like all early 70s by the looks of it. Probably about right. Look at that, Commando #1. Don't see that very often. It's in appalling condition. Look at the state of it. And they've still got quite a high price on it, $250 to $450. I mean, it never used to go for that sort of money. So it'd be interesting to see what that sells for. Attack #1 and other British war comics. I mean, if these are your thing, I'm sure you'll get a lot more out of this than I do. But I mean, I love looking at it. You know, but I don't really know enough about it. Look, these are all #1s. Battle Picture Library #1s, different ones. The Rats of Tobruk. See, when I was a kid, I wasn't really going for this sort of stuff when this was being published, because I was around when these were coming out. I was more aiming for the science fiction stuff. Star Blazer, for example, was my miniature digest of choice from Fleetway. Huge run there, look. 300 copies there. The only one out of those I ever collected was Commando, and I did have at one point about 2,000, but the space they took up was insane, so I just knocked it on the head and sold them all. But as I said in the intro, Peter Hansen bought quite a lot of this from Dennis Gifford, who you may well have heard of. He's bought his own. Girls' Digests. And obviously I'm only zooming through these. So these are the key #1 issues. Like Battle #1 with the badges. Warlord #1. Warlord specials. Victor specials. That'll go for some good money because it's got the free gifts. I know a few, look at this with the little craft set there. I know a few of my friends were like, wow, this is just amazing, the stuff that was in there. And a lot of it was these early girls comics with gifts. That's in a very, very hot area of collecting at the moment. My sister got a girls comic. I can't quite remember which one it was though. Look at these summer specials. I think if I saw it, it would probably jog a memory. But I can't remember which one she bought. There's some stuff. Got a Valentine #1 and Jackie #1 with free gifts again. Cliff pictures. They got to be rare. Look at that Marty #1 with the gift. Serenade. Very, very scarce, this stuff. Sort of teenage ones. These are super rare. This is a run of Lady Penelope comic. These are really, really tough to find. Very, very tough indeed. They just weren't saved the same way that Thunderbirds were. And there's a fair run of them there. And I think my friend George might be going for those. He's a big Jerry Anderson collector. More original artwork here. Mandy and Judy Annuals. I've just remembered the one that my sister had as a kid. It was called Twinkle. This probably would have been like 74 to 77, 78. Twinkle was the one she had. We may see some. Schoolgirls, original artwork. It's the Beano Annual #1. Look at that. 1,000 to 1,800. I mean, don't see that very often. It looks a pretty nice copy. Look at the spine. That's the key for me. Look at that spine. That's look, unused as well. Wow, wow, wow. That is a real superior copy, that one. Don't see them like that very often. And even now, I would say a very, very good investment. I wonder what that's going to end up at, Beano #1. And the Magic Fun Book #1 as well. Bit worse grade by the look of it. What's this? This is bound. This is the Beano 411 to 441 in a bound volume. I do love a bound volume. It keeps the comics really mint. Look at that. That is incredible, isn't it? Very, very nice indeed. Said it had some good stuff in here. More bound volumes. Beano, Dandy and Beezer. Holiday and other specials. Oh. The Beano 515. 1952. Beano 50th birthday special. And sundry Beano and Dandy specials. Look at that. So they looks like it's a bit hard to tell. There's only the one image. But these ones here, the ones that are around 8 to 15p, they would have been sort of the ones I had as a kid, and I probably would have read some of them as well. Wow. I mean, I don't collect them, but I've got some scans of a few of them as well, and they're quite fun. And here's another load. Look, more miscellaneous comics. I mean, they've only got 40 to 70 pounds. These look much more recent, actually, except the ones at the back. Look, there's some vintage ones at the back there. They've not broken that lot down very well, in my opinion. Right, lot at 100. There's a Beano and Dandy Annuals. There's an early Dandy Annual, 52, not the first one. A Dandy 991 with free gift. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, original artwork. I mean, this is going to make thousands and thousands of pounds when this lot comes under the hammer. More British Annuals. Bruins and R. Willie. Never got into those at all. Never appealed. Well, they're nice. Look, Marvel Man and Young Marvel Man. 3 hardback and 3 softbacks. Those are scarce in nice condition. Look at those. They look really nice. Look at that. They're rare. They're rare in that condition. 80 to 140, I suspect, once again, they're going to go for a few £100, those. And some more British reprints. These are the DC ones. The Batman, Superman Annuals. That's rare. The Superman gift book down the bottom. Super cool, that stuff. And much more collectible in the States than it ever used to be, because they're aware of it now. Cowboy Annuals. Look, they've only got 50 to 80 pound on that. And I bet you they're pretty nice condition. I mean, they used to be 2 a penny, but try finding them now. They're much harder to find. Girls Annuals, yeah. And more Girls Annuals. Boys Annuals. What's in here then? Arthur Askey's Annual. Thrilling stories. On the Beat with PC49. A few Eagle related ones. Dick Barton. More Cowboy Annuals. More Kids Annuals there. Nothing jumping out at me. Some TV Comic Annuals. TV Tornado. Some good stuff there. Some good stuff. More British Annuals. You can't, it's a bit of a shame you can't quite see what they are. So what are those ones there? It doesn't even say in the description. You think they could have done like a spine-on shot, you know? Children's annuals, these are real vintage ones, these. Yeah, 30s and 40s, even 20s, I reckon. They did. I wonder if he's got a run of Pip and Squeak. They're pretty nice. There's the Radio Fun Annuals. They're 50s ones, I think. Yeah, like 52, 50, 49, 52 and 53. I don't mind Radio Fun, but I'd love to collect them. I just, where are you going to put them? Oh, look at all these Eagle books. These look great. Oh, I love these. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. What a collection. You see these things around, odd Eagle related ones, so they slap the Eagle name on, the Eagle comic name on, and look at that, what an array of stuff. That is really, really nice. Look at that, an Eagle Book of Careers. There's a few there I've never ever seen. That's really nice. Even though, once again, I don't collect the Eagle, and I'd love to have room. That would be a lot for me. That's really nice. That. And Knockout Fun Books. 50s ones. Jolly Book comic album. Oh, look at those. Adventures of Buck Rogers and the Buck Rogers Annual. So Adventures of Buck Rogers 1 and 2. And the Buck Rogers Annual number 1. Presentation copy given to Hoyt's Theatre. Australian issues published by Fishit Brothers. Wow, so look at those. Wow, that is pretty amazing. That is real vintage, that, isn't it? Once again, I can imagine that going for 80 to 140. If the right people have seen this auction, that's got to be £1,000 for those, if not more. Hurricane Hawk Annual, also Australian. British Wild West Annuals, yeah. Eagle, Swift and Girl. More Girl Annuals. Look at that one there with Cliff on. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That'd be quite collectible. Wow. That's nice. The TV Fun. Film Fun. Hancock there on that Film Fun Annual. What an auction this is. Absolutely fantastic to see some of this stuff. Vintage children's magazines and comics. Oh, it's mainly girls' stuff there. Yeah, it's not every day you see so much of this. Funny Wonder Annual. I mean, it's an incredible collection, really. I mean, you could find these, you could pick them off here and there, but getting so many in one hit. Some good stuff there again. Very, very nice. Got the Pop Annual. This is real film fun there with, it looks like Laurel and Hardy on there. Pretty scarce stuff here. Robin Hood. Yeah, Marvel Man Jr. there. Yeah, some lovely stuff here. Wow. Space Ace. Another British comic. Some great artwork. Ron Turner, that's why, yeah. Early 1960. Space Man. Planet Stories. Western reprints, British Western reprints. Wow. Western thrillers. So yeah, these are all British editions of, in a lot of cases, just normal American comics. You don't really see these around. Having runs of these is just so unusual. Some good stuff here. And look at the condition of it. I guess these must have been the Dennis Gifford stuff, you know, because he was buying all this when it was being published and keeping it, which was so unusual, you know. Electroman. Yeah, these are all reprint. British reprints. Super Thriller Comics. Space Captain Valiant. Or Space Comics and then Captain Valiant. Once again, they look reasonable, nice condition, those. Space Commander Kerry. Wow. British Marvel Man. Volume 1, number 25. So why have they put that 800 to 1,200? What's so special about that? I wonder. Where they've got that estimate from. That's slightly weird, isn't it? A few more of these. Look, they're all big money. 250 to 450 on that batch of 3. Looks like a real nice run of them. Vintage Aviation Comics. Original artwork for Battle Picture Library 45. See, if you collected something like that, it would be lovely just to have one, wouldn't it? Just to have one original bit of artwork. It would really set off a collection. Yeah, these are all original covers. And I know these guys, or these things, have got their fans, definitely. They really do. Lord of the Jungle. Original artwork for the Battle Picture Holiday Special 84. Yeah, a lot of this artwork was done by European artists, wasn't it? And then imported. British War Digests. Then a run of early Commandos. All, I say all, a few of them under 100. They're the only ones really to really, you know, be big money. Cowboy Comics Picture Library file copies. Bound up file copies. British and Italian SF Digest Comics and Novels. Oh yeah, there's some Vargo Staten there. Never was a fan of those, to be honest. Never really appealed. I don't really like the cover artwork either. I've got a couple in my collection that have come my way, but I'm not fussed about keeping them. 3 panels from Lion from 1960. That's really nice. Some Archie, Robot Archie. Look at that. I guess they've been cut down, which is a shame, but they are what they are. So Winston Churchill by Frank Bellamy, who I really like. What an artist he was. So this is from Eagle, an original page from Eagle. The life story of Winston Churchill. 1,000 to 1,800. Look at that. Yeah, Frank Bellamy did some Doctor Who artwork. That's where I first came across him, and I really like that. Pretty nice, isn't it? Good stuff. Original Thunderbirds artwork by Frank Bellamy. Look at that. 800 to 1,400 from TV21 number 111. I can see that going for a few £1,000. Let's just look at that while I have a sip of my coffee. That's got to be a couple of grand, isn't it, I would think. I'd be amazed if that didn't go for at least £2,000. Wow. Wrath of the Gods by M. Burns. Tomorrow People. All right, Mike Noble. Hurricane Annual front cover from 1971. Artboard's Best of All Annual. Eagle artwork by Jerry Haylock from 1968. He, of course, did quite a bit for TV, comic and TV action later on in the 70s. Great artist, did the Doctor Who strip. Complete Zip Nolan 2-pager. Wow. Eric the Viking, Don Lawrence. I like him as well. 4 to 600. So what was this from? Does it look a nerd? Oh, In the Lion from 1963. Lion comic. Carl the Viking. See, the thing is, I know they're doing this over 2 days, but there is a chance that they're going to just flood the market, and they'll actually be a bit too much to handle, because the sort of people going to be buying this in the end, because there's so much being offered at once. Yeah, people have a limited budget. They can't just go crazy. TV Fun, number 4, number 38 and 72, with a free gift. The Buzzing Bee or something, I think it said. Wow. Yeah, that buzzing bee. And you got to think how many have ever survived of those, can't be many. Buster number 1 with a free Guy Fawkes mask and other bits. Look at these. All with the free gifts. Incredible. And look at them, beautiful white copies. That's Dennis Gifford's collection, I'm certain of it. Look at it, they're like file copies. They don't come any better than that. 1 to 200. I could see that going for another 0 on that, possibly. Solo and Wildcat with the free gifts again. Look at these. Solo with the gun, pistol. It's got the poster with it, and Jag had this book here, the Bobby Moore Book of FA Cup. Incredible. Boys World, these are worth looking at just because they're so scarce. Eagle Holiday Extra, look at that, the Eagle Special. That's nice. Bible Story. Yeah, these books with comics with free gifts are just so scarce. Eye-popping, really. Wow. Yogi Bear Weekly with like a wraparound or an insert in number 1 there. The Junior Mirror number 1. Twinkle, there we are. That's the one my sister had. She probably would have had that one if it was 18p. Candy. Oh yeah, that was the Jerry Anderson. Very weird Jerry Anderson thing. Candy and Andy. Comics with football giveaways. Wow. My friend Andy will be looking at these, I'm certain. He loves a bit of football action. These are incredible. I can just see them going for mega money. Just mega money, these. Yeah, fantastic to see. Incredible. I want to have a little look at them all just because they are so nice. Yeah, so Sparky there. Once again, I mean, comics with free gifts, they're just so scarce. I know on eBay they've been making incredible money. Absolutely incredible. And, you know, it was a gimmick back in the day. You know, I remember any comic with a free gift I would end up buying because you get something a bit more for your money. It was no extra to get the free gift, but you get the free gift out of it. And you could try sometimes a comic that you wouldn't ordinarily have picked up, you know. These Victors here. I don't think Victor was one I ever really read as a kid. It was Planet of the Apes and Dracula Lives weekly, Star Wars weekly, Doctor Who weekly, and of course I read some of the other traditional Beano Dandy now and again. Really, it's a big job lot of Victor. Hurricane #1 with the Book of Records there. Very cool. The early Smash and Pow. Star-Lord #1, that's fairly common. First issues of Wham, Monster Fun, these are all #1s, look at that. Monster Fun, Buster, Mini Buster, got Cheeky. Wow. Used to like Cheeky. Topper with free gifts. Jerry Hansen's Joan 90 #1 with the coupon, dossier booklet, and TV21 with the Stratostrick glider giveaway, which is that one there. Look at that. Very, very cool. That was lot 250. Oh, it carries on 251. So is that? Yeah, this is still the 11th. So I don't know how many lots are on each day, but we'll carry on and have a look through the whole lot. There's a run of Look-In, which was the Junior TV Times. Big run of that. Don't often see that in runs. You see odd issues. In fact, I've got a few odd ones myself with Star Wars on. Radio Fun, issue 1. Look at that, 1938. I mean, how often do you see it? Flanagan and Allen. Wow, wow, wow. No free gift on that one. And there's some later issues. Magic Comic #5. Playbox. The Wonder Packet of English Comics and the Comic Pie. So the Wonder Packet was that pink folder there, and that had 4 comics inside it, which is probably why they're so nice condition. And Comics Pie was the same. So it was like a grab bag of miscellaneous comics. Scramble. Midget. Football giveaways. Once again, this is my friend Andy's department, really. This is all stuff from various British comics, 60s and 70s football giveaways. Chances are he's got a lot of that anyway, in all honesty. But I know when I sent him the link, he was very keen. He thought, wow, there's some good stuff in there. Boys World publisher file copies, okay. Champion bound volume includes #1. Tiger and Hurricane publisher file copies again. So they're just bound volumes. Great to see. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, Swift was a bit like Eagle, and I've seen Eagle bound copies before. There may even be some in this particular lot. There's bound lions. The Eagle bound up are just incredible because it's so big, you know. It's like, oh, there we are. Exactly what I was thinking. So it's volume 11. The entire year, lot numbers 1 to 53. Just incredible to go through something like that. I mean, it's like just the most magical comics you could read. amazing. And all in the one book like that. Just awesome. I've seen them before, and they're just, yeah, superb. Look and Learn. I remember turning down a full run of Look and Learn. At least it was a hell of a run from #1 with Prince Charles's I think 16th birthday on the front. But yeah, you can't pick it all up. The Sun, Smash. Wow, look at that. Smash numbers 1 to 48. Wow. Knockout. Radio Fun file copies. Wow. 600 to £1,000 estimate. And then Film Fun. Laurel and Hardy there, look, A Chump at Oxford. That was A Chump at Oxford was the one featuring, well, in it, not featuring, but in it is Peter Cushing as a very young man when he did a little brief spell in Hollywood. Tiny Tots. Buster. I wonder what the market's like for all these file copies. I mean, they've got to be of interest to somebody. I love them myself. TV Toyland. Wow, look at that. Pinky and Perky. Obviously aimed at the younger reader. Champion the Wonder Horse there. Johnny Morris. Harold Hare's own paper. Don't remember that one. I don't remember seeing it. 50s, that's probably why. Tip Top. Well, I mean, he must have bought an archive of some sort. I wonder if this is something that Peter himself bought, or if this is something that came from Dennis Gifford's collection that he bought of him. Some of it's really early, 20s, Joker comic. I mean, you hardly ever see these individually, so file copies may be the only way you're ever going to come across them, Butterfly, I mean, never seen them. Jack and Jill, yeah. Play Hour. And Robin. Right. Monster Fun #1. And some later issues. There's #1 there. I vaguely remember that. Free Plate Wobbler. I think I probably had that comic. First issues of Kids Comics. There's Whoopi #1 there. Look at that. Wow. What an incredible auction. But if these are all, I'm sure it said they're being sold over 2 days. But even so, with so much of this stuff coming on the market, there's some good battle comics there. It's Charlie's War, isn't it? When it had a few front covers. So much coming on the market at one time. I wonder if this is, some of this is going to make what it really deserves to make, if it was pieced out a little bit more. A suite of 3 sci-fi artboards by Angus Mackay. Lounge Shot. I wonder what they were used for. Maybe a backdrop for an animation or something like that. Astro Gym 2. Pretty nice. Huh. That's something a bit different. Dan Dare. From Dan Dare. I wonder if it was a Dan Dare animated series. Something like that. Dan Dare Artboard. Mekong Corridor. Thunderbird's original painting by Graham Bleathen. Look at that. £300 to £500. He was such a great artist, wasn't he? He's still around, Graham Bleathen. Fantastic artist. The definitive Thunderbird artist. And in fact, Anderson in general is just superb. Yeah, very cool. 2 bagatelles. I like bagatelles. Pin Cricket and Snow White. 50 to 100. Well, I think I could see the Snow White one going for a bit more than that. Cricket one's nice as well. I mean, Cricket's got its fans. I do like those. Yeah, once again, I haven't really got room to collect bagatelles, but they're very nice. Toys and Games. Okay. Lucky Luke guitar. Look at that. Wow. That's pretty rare. I've seen that Marvello. Thunderbird 5, yeah. Looks like it's missing the satellite, the aerials rather. That's much scarcer, I think. Lady Penelope dresser table set. And the gun. Fairlight Thunderbird's battery operated viewer. Okay. Plus Sylvia Anderson signed Penelope card. Thunderbird's bubble gum with a packet. Penelope dress up book. Yeah, Thunderbird's viewer. That's pretty nice. Collection of supercar related games. This is up my friend George's street. Supercar is probably his, well, amongst his favourite Anderson shows, I think. And Fireball. Yeah, I've seen that stuff before, the Bagatelle and that. Home movies, the Walton home movies for Fireball. Stingray guns and water pistol. Yeah, hand puppet. So some of this I've seen before. That's the Century 21 records. They're great. I love those. 2 dandy revolver cap guns. Oh, that's, I mean, there was a little find of those in about 1990 or late 80s. There was the guns, and they found carded badges as well, but don't see them around anymore. That's nice. Yeah, JR21, pretty scarce. 50s and 60s box toys and games. Eagle Book of Magic. See, that's really in the wrong place, isn't it? They've done the magic books. That's a little bit of misorganization there by the auction house. Saint's car. Batman pogo stick. Wow. With original instructions. That's got to be rare. Wow. Tom Corbett wristwatch. That's cool as well. That's a very American thing, isn't it? Yeah, some James Bond bits. Yep, Dolicat Space Book. I mean, not uncommon. And the jigsaws are there as well. I mean, of the 3, that's the toughest of the 3 to get, and it looks pretty nice condition. And the jigsaws are 15 to 20 quid each, those. So that's probably £200 to £300, that little lot. Down there, Planet Gun box lids. I love Down There. Memorabilia, it's fantastic. But where do you stop? And there's so much of it. That looks beautiful stuff. Oh, that's really nice, but there's an awful lot of it. The Rolling Stones set, I know that's super rare because my friend Andy was telling me about it. There's only 40 cards. The original Rolling Stones set. That looks beautiful condition as well. Very nice indeed, that. 150 to 250, that's £600 easy, that set. The original Star Trek set, NBC. That's scarce. Colour Man from Uncle, the Cadet, the Dan Dare set. Although, is that more recent? I'm just trying to think. That may actually be a bit more recent than what I'm thinking. In fact, that may even be a reprint set, you know. Possibly. Yeah, Cadet Stingray. Miscellaneous A and BC. Story of Winston Churchill. That was a good set. I used to have that. And the box for it, in fact. Foolishly got rid of it. In fact, there was the Civil War news and some of the Confederate dollars as well, which is cool. Bassett UFO set and some more recent stuff. And Primrose, small cards again. That's the American, the Italian Panini UFO album, signed by Ed Bishop. Colonel Straker himself. Noddy Toys and Games. Cowboy toys in a framed print. Donald Duck. Jerry Cottle's Circus. Oh, by Frank Bellamy. Oh yeah, look at that. See his very distinctive signature there. That's super cool. An art poster by Paul New and another by Barry Smith. Limited edition posters. The Thunderbirds A Go movie poster, 50 to 90. It's creased and unframed, but it should go for more than that. Daily Sketch. Chocolate, a promotional poster for Cadbury's Bourneville chocolate. 1960s. Cartoon artwork by Sam Fair. Aluminium advertising sign for Wonder Comic. That's pretty nice, isn't it? Wow. Aluminium signs. Look at that. 4 Hinged magazine shelf advertising signs. That's nice, isn't it? See if they did book ones like that as well, publishers ones. For the main British publishers, I would have been all over those. Dudley D. Watkins Ephemera. Viz artwork, something a bit more recent. The Fat Slags. Leo Baxendale. Doctor Who Treasure Edition signed by Dave Gibbons. Okay. These are comic book related fanzines now, and I know there's quite a few of these. Although that does look like an original copy of Amazing Adult Fantasy number 13, which is obviously 2 issues before the Spider-Man one, and that's an expensive comic if that's an original, which I'm assuming it is. That's been once again misclassified. See if we can see that up close. There are actually some more pictures here. Yeah, look at that. That looks like the original comic, doesn't it? Bit of wear there, but that's a pretty nice copy of that. These are the sorts of lots that go for a lot more than you expect. More comic fanzines here. The one I really liked, every single issue I've ever seen of it, that and they are scarce, is Squatront, which is the EC Comics fanzine. But look at all these. That's Speakeasy. Remember that one? That's what came before Comics International. But there's some really good stuff in there. I bet there is. Look at them all though. There's Speakeasy. I remember that. I used to buy that back in the 80s. Yeah, Fantasy Advertiser. That's amazing. It's amazing to see a lot of stuff I'd forgotten about. There's more Speakeasy up there. Well, they've broken these down pretty cool. Unseen Frank Bellamy. Paperback and pulp collector. It's Morris's old one. The Eagle Times. Look at that. It must be for people who collect Eagle. I remember this. This is a full-size shop display spinner for Tintin. I mean, these were around in the 1990s, and I remember when I worked for Waterstones, we had one in our kids department, and it got chucked away because they just didn't want it anymore. It was so big. I had a friend in France who still wants one of these for his shop, so I sent him a link to this exact page. Sci-fi and related ephemera. More Dan Dare stuff. Fleet Logbook. It is a really incredible collection. Miniature comics and booklets. Wow, I had no idea there was all this stuff in here as well. Teddy Tail League. Early Mickey Mouse, plush Mickey Mouse. Wow. Oh, it's a Dean's Rag book. Mickey Mouse Club ephemera. If the right people in the States saw this, it could go for really good money, It doesn't appeal to me, but it's interesting all the same. Look at it. You forget how huge Mickey Mouse was as a character, don't you? This is more cool. Look at that, Eagle Club. How amazing is that? That's really nice stuff, that. The little flags there as well. And Eagle was a huge comic in its day, absolutely enormous. And seeing some of this here is quite special. There's more. Yeah, super cool. Eagle passports. More club memorabilia, the cards stuff as well. I mean, just incredible. It's a real archive, isn't it, of stuff. Marvel Man. Look at this. You can imagine. There's a bit down there again. But yeah, Marvel Man Club. That's got to be rare, isn't it? Dinky Toys Club. That's interesting. Lion Club. Boys Magazine League. Cindy Club. Girls Club. Incredible. Swift. Amazing that these comics all had their own like little clubs as well. Just general children's ones. There's the Puffin Club. Looking around here for a Puffin Reader's Diary. Sadly, there isn't one there, because that was sent out to Puffin Club members. More original front cover artwork to the DC, the Fleetway picture libraries. We are coming up on the end of it now. I mean, this has taken a good hour to look through the catalogue properly. But very, very cool. So I hope you've enjoyed looking through this. I mean, it's just been fantastic. All this artwork. Yeah, I think if this is your thing, particularly all these digests and that, you're just going to be in heaven. Superman artwork by George Tusker. Look at that. A little signed card of it as well. Doesn't give a date on it, sadly. Bound copies of Silver Age DCs. Original Silver Age DC comics. That's interesting, isn't it? Pretty scarce, those. Hardback bindings for British market distribution. I know they did like double comics. I wonder if, because I was surprised we hadn't seen any of those actually. This issue's a showcase. Tommy Tomorrow. I think that previous lot will do very well. Silver Age and Modern DC. Yeah, it is very, it's more teetering into the Bronze Age with a lot of that. Tales of Action #1, Alan Class. These fetch good money nowadays, much more than they ever used to. They used to be like throwaway, bargain bin stuff. But no more. Australian reprints now, another market which has seen some action of late. Popeye, Ephemera and toys, that's cool. Travel Tykes Weekly. More annuals. Electroman. Super Thriller. Steve Sampson. Dick Hercules, whoever he was. Yeah, some of these I'm less familiar with, the westerns and that, but yeah, Pancho Villa, I've heard of that. I'm assuming they're the British copies. That was published as Pancho Villa in America as well. Buffalo Bill. Power Comic. Yep, Spaceman. Some of this we've seen before, haven't we, in some of the earlier lots. Ace Malloy. The Football Comic. Master, Captain Marvel. British reprint comics and annuals. Laurel and Hardy extra. I mean, you don't see those very often. They're softback, bound up into the one. Wow. Very cool. Miniature British comics. Mighty Midget Tales. Mighty Midgets. They're cool, aren't they? Like a miniature comic. Victor Valiant and other specials. Yeah. I'd love these. I'd love these. They're brilliant. Did love a summer special. Comics of the 50s. A bit of Tarzan there. We haven't seen much of that, have we? Yeah, there was quite a bit. Oh, look at this. I run a TV21 comic number 165. Oh, and later issues. Okay. So it's just a job lot of later ones. Once again, pretty nice. They look pretty nice condition as well. But it's surprising that they haven't actually listed them all, you know. The Sunday Fairy. I guess it was just time. Christmas issues. I know that's these are all issues around Christmas. Nugget Weekly #1, 1920. Blimey. Wow, wow, wow. That's cool. Includes Robin Hood and Buffalo Bill and Sexton Blake. Captain Britain, they're much more collectible in the States nowadays, those ones. They really are. They fetch some good money. Very nice. Buck Rogers Space Ranger kit. That's super cool. Captain Marvel. American newspaper comic strips from 1945, taken from Canadian and US newspapers. Featuring Superman, Dick Tracy, Tarzan, Popeye. It's good to see them in their original form, I suppose, you know, the comic sections. And they've been bound up. I mean, real period piece, isn't it? It really is. I mean, I love them. Absolutely love the Sunday strips and that. 100 to 180, that to me seems a bit much, but you know, there's more of them here from 1947. Actual comic sections that have been saved. Not seen any Prince Valiant in any of the auction lots, which is a bit of a surprise. Captain George's Comic World and the Toronto Star Weekly. Jim Bakey, saved from the North Sea. Well, I think we could safely say that the auction has got some absolutely incredible stuff. Mickey Mouse Weekly original artwork. It's not every day you're going to see some of this. I mean, let's be honest. So if anything's tickled your fancy, Anderson and Garland are the auctioneers. The link to the auction will be in the description down below. And you can peruse at your leisure. I don't know how many of these go on to. We're over 500 now. I think we're quite near the end. This is the rear cover to Tarzan Annual from 1968. Wildlife studies now. This is 505. This is a huge pile of stuff. Original artboards by Graham Allen for the strip Please Sir. There's 20 pages for £400 to £700. I mean, look at it. That's an incredible lot, isn't it? That's 506. Artwork for Looking magazine here. There's about 540 lots. I've just quickly checked. Don Lawrence artwork there. So we might as well look at the whole lot. It's been quite the show, really, hasn't it? Wow. Absolutely incredible to see some of this stuff. So they're putting these Wells Fargo pages up individually. Look at that. Original painted front and rear cover artwork for the Jetsons Annual. For the 1963-64 Jetsons Annual. That's very nice, isn't it? Guinea pig from Eagle. Artwork for Mandy and Judy Annuals. Ma Kelly's Telly. Comic puzzle pages artwork. Puzzles and Mazes from Play Hour, Playtime Comic, Jack and Jill. All right. Huh. Wow. Cuddly and Dudley. Well, do leave a comment below if there's something that you've seen that you're going to have a crack on, or maybe after the auction, tell me how you got on. I'd be very, very curious to know if anybody who's watched this video has actually ended up buying something. Just a really incredible auction, and something that just doesn't come along very often. It's once in a blue moon you find something like this. And I got to admit, I've been really, really blown away by just the sheer range of it more than anything else. Underground comics. Fantastic. Some good stuff there. Some very good stuff there. It's got some early Brian Talbot in near myths. Wow. Yeah, so if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it that thumbs up. There we are. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you've not already for this sort of content on a regular basis. This is right up our street and what we cover on this channel. Lots of comic book related content. We very much like that. Yeah, superb. What a collection, I think is what you could say. Very, very nice indeed. So much good stuff here. Fantastic. And there we are. That was it. 542. That was the last lot. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that one. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye.